Today, we're diving into a mysterious and dramatic story set in the small town of Willow Creek. The story revolves around Selene Foster, a dedicated veterinarian beloved by the whole town. Her marriage to Russell Turner was once perfect, but things began to change as Selene uncovered dark secrets that slowly eroded their happiness. Lies, distance, and mysterious phone calls started to unveil a horrifying truth. So, what really happened? Let's find out together. Every time Russell was away on business trips, Selene's anxiety grew stronger. The warmth in Russell's eyes had been replaced by a coldness that she couldn't shake, leaving her with an unsettling feeling. Something's not right, she told herself. But she wasn't ready to face the truth that was slowly coming to light. Beneath the peaceful surface of Willow Creek, Selene began to realize that the home she had built with Russell had become a trap full of secrets. Russell wasn't just betraying her emotionally. He was also involved in shady financial dealings. When Selene discovered that Russell was tied to an international criminal organization, she knew there was no way out. Unable to stay silent, Selene decided to investigate her husband, but didn't realize Russell was monitoring her every move. One night, while searching his office for documents, Selene found a hidden listening device. What is he hiding? She shuddered, realizing the danger wasn't just in the truth she was uncovering, but also for her own life. She started noticing more troubling signs. The secretive glances between Russell and Lenore Mitchell, a woman who had returned to Willow Creek after a 10-year disappearance. Even though she saw the betrayal, her fear of losing her family held her back, leaving her unready to confront the truth. Everything changed on one fateful night when Selene discovered a secret drawer filled with documents, offshore accounts, and dark secrets Russell had been hiding. On the morning of September 18th, 2016, Sheriff Nolan Brooks received an urgent call from Allegra Hayes, the local florist, who found Selene's garage door slightly open. As she approached, Allegra saw a trail of blood leading to where Selene lay motionless on the concrete floor. In shock, she called Nolan, struggling to keep her composure. Minutes later, Nolan and the investigation team arrived at the scene, the sound of sirens shattering the quiet neighborhood. Selene's body lay cold with deep wounds, surrounded by signs of a violent struggle. Nearby, a bloodied iron rod lay on the ground, possibly the murder weapon. Nolan stood still, unease creeping in. He knew this wasn't a random attack. Every detail pointed to unresolved secrets from a decade ago. The townspeople gathered outside, horrified by the news of Selene's death. Rumors quickly spread through the small town, sparking countless questions. What really happened? During his interrogation of Allegra Hayes, Nolan began to sense that something wasn't right. Selene's death wasn't just linked to Russell, but seemed to hide much deeper secrets. While checking Allegra's call records, Nolan found a strange number connected to a key figure in the criminal organization they had been investigating. This is bigger than Selene's death, Nolan thought, a chilling feeling washing over him as the numbers flashed before his eyes. Nolan stared at the phone, pondering Allegra's true role. Allegra? Who is she really? Doubt filled his mind. She could be an innocent witness. Or perhaps she played a much bigger part in this dark story. A cold breeze swept through, sending a shiver down Nolan's spine. Inside the house, Selene's two young children were still fast asleep, unaware of the tragedy that had unfolded just steps away. Nolan and the detectives quickly ensured the children were taken to safety, making sure they were well cared for while the investigation continued. News of Selene's death spread rapidly, shocking the entire town of Willow Creek. She was not only a devoted mother, but also a respected member of the community. Now the town was left with nothing but grief and unanswered questions. As Nolan and the detectives, guided by Lenore Mitchell, began investigating the crime scene, they realized this case was far more complex than it initially appeared. The garage where Selene's body was found was filled with evidence of a fierce struggle. Blood spattered across the floor and walls, and a bloodied iron rod lay next to Selene's body, likely the murder weapon. As Nolan pieced together the fragments of the case, he realized there were no signs of forced entry. This suggested that the attacker was someone Selene knew well. Forensic experts quickly gathered evidence: the iron rod, fingerprints, DNA samples. Nolan meticulously noted every detail: a toppled toolbox, scattered papers, and a broken family photo, all of which could be vital clues. The image of Selene's desperate struggle in her final moments played vividly in Nolan's mind. Selene's cell phone was found nearby, offering hope that it might hold clues to her last moments. After thoroughly searching, Nolan and the investigation team found no signs of forced entry, confirming that Selene knew her attacker. During the questioning of Allegra Hayes, who had discovered the open garage door, Nolan listened as she described the overwhelming sense of dread she felt that morning. Allegra's calmness in the face of the emergency deepened Nolan's suspicions. Although her statement seemed reasonable, Nolan couldn't shake the nagging doubt. Was she truly just an innocent witness? Allegra's sharp observations and calm demeanor provided crucial information, but Nolan couldn't shake off the feeling of doubt. The appearance of a strange series of numbers in Allegra's call logs added to his unease. That number was connected to a dangerous figure in the international crime syndicate they had been investigating for a long time. A shocking realization hit Nolan. This isn't just about Selene's death. Nolan and his fellow detective, Lenore Mitchell, continued to lead the investigation, uncovering hidden secrets. The deeper they dug, the more they uncovered new details and questioned the true motive behind Selene's death. The town of Willow Creek quickly descended into fear as people began to realize that the dark past was resurfacing. Meanwhile, Nolan and Lenore continued speaking with Selene's two young children. They were still too young to fully understand what was happening. Nolan and Lenore approached the kids gently, making sure they felt safe in the midst of this tragic situation. After their conversation, they took the children to stay with relatives far from the tragic scene. Nolan quickly contacted Russell Turner, Selene's husband, while he was at work. Russell's strange calmness put Nolan and Lenore on edge. Both detectives sensed something was off. Russell's cold demeanor felt like a wall hiding his emotions. Nolan, Lenore, and the investigation team didn't overlook a single detail. They reviewed security camera footage from the area, searching for any suspicious activities. At the same time, they carefully went through Selene's call history and social media accounts, hoping to find any signs of threats she might have faced. The deeper they delved into the case, Nolan and Lenore realized this wasn't just about seeking justice for Selene, but also about reassuring the Willow Creek community, which was sinking into anxiety. Every piece of evidence, no matter how small, was meticulously examined on their quest for the truth. Russell Turner quickly became the prime suspect. At 45, he owned a boat repair shop and was known as a model husband and devoted father. However, that perfect facade began to crack as Nolan and Lenore delved deeper into his personal life. They discovered that Russell was hiding many secrets. In addition to having an affair, He was also facing serious financial troubles. His business, once considered successful, was actually drowning in debt. The more they investigated, the more Nolan and Lenore realized that Russell's life was far more complicated than it appeared. He had taken out several large loans and was under pressure from mounting debts, all of which he had tried to keep hidden from Selene. The image of a devoted husband had vanished, replaced by that of a deceitful and desperate man. On the afternoon of September 18th, 2016, Nolan and Lenore decided to interrogate Russell. He appeared strangely calm, but his distant and cold demeanor only increased their suspicions. Russell denied any involvement in Selene's death and claimed he had been at his office during the time of the crime. However, when asked to provide an alibi, Russell was unable to offer any solid proof to back up his statement. The interrogation continued to probe into Russell's personal life. When questioned about his finances and extramarital affair, Russell admitted to having an affair with Jennifer Green, Selene's close friend. However, he insisted that the affair had nothing to do with his wife's death. Russell's unsettling calmness throughout the interrogation only fueled Nolan and Lenore's doubts. When pressed further about his financial issues, Russell became agitated but continued to assert his innocence. The detectives continued to analyze Russell's phone and email records. A series of messages between him and Jennifer Green were quickly uncovered, shedding light on their complicated affair. These messages raised questions about Russell's true motives. Did this secret relationship play a role in Selene's death? When Nolan, Lenore, and the investigation team interviewed Selene's friends and neighbors, they were surprised to learn about Russell's double life. Neighbors described him as quiet and reserved, in stark contrast to Selene's open and outgoing nature. Some even recalled that Russell had recently shown signs of anxiety and unusual behavior, further intensifying the suspicions against him. Nolan and Lenore realized they needed more concrete evidence to either charge Russell or clear him as a suspect. They continued to dig into his financial records, hoping to find a direct link between Russell and Selene's death. At the same time, they decided to interrogate Jennifer Green to better understand her relationship with Russell, although they knew she was not directly involved in the murder. The investigation continued to progress, and Russell Turner remained at the top of the suspect list. His dark secrets and suspicious behavior kept the investigation team on high alert. Nolan and Lenore understood that clarifying Russell's story was key to solving the case, but they also sensed that the situation was far more complicated. Jennifer Green, Selene's close friend and Russell's lover, became a key witness. She shared details about the changes in Russell's behavior and the tension she had noticed between him and Selene. However, Jennifer insisted that she knew nothing about Russell's illegal activities. Her role revolved mainly around their romantic relationship, and she denied any involvement in Selene's murder. Relying on information from Jennifer and other clues, Nolan and Lenore continued their search for more evidence to clarify Russell's true role in the case. They realized they needed to consider every possibility and investigate further. An anonymous message sent to Nolan Brooks' phone revealed that a witness had seen Russell meeting with a mysterious man on the night Selene was killed. This man wasn't just a random stranger. He was a middleman in Russell's criminal dealings, helping to cover up money laundering schemes and illegal transactions on the black market. The complexity of the case continued to deepen as Nolan and Lenore uncovered new connections between Russell and other individuals. They did not view Jennifer Green as a prime suspect, but continued to investigate the romantic relationships to find any hidden motives. Jennifer's role remained part of the complicated emotional web, but she was not directly involved in the criminal acts. The further they advanced in the investigation, the more Nolan and Lenore realized that new secrets were being revealed, and the case was becoming increasingly complex and dangerous. Jennifer Green had been Selene's close friend for many years, sharing not only work but also personal struggles. Over time, their relationship became complicated when Jennifer began an affair with Russell. Jennifer had kept this affair hidden from Selene, while Russell used it to mask his shady dealings. This further raised suspicions about Jennifer's role in Russell's schemes. On September 19, 2016, Nolan and Lenore decided to interrogate Jennifer. Although shocked by the turn of events, Jennifer remained calm and cooperative, admitting to her affair with Russell, but firmly denying any involvement in Selene's death. She answered briefly, deliberately avoiding sensitive details, which made the investigation team even more suspicious. Throughout the interrogation, Jennifer maintained a defensive but not overly aggressive stance. She carefully chose her words, responding with a calm demeanor. Jennifer revealed that Russell had planned to leave Selene and make their relationship public, which raised suspicions among the detectives. Did Jennifer see Selene as an obstacle that needed to be removed? Although Jennifer denied any involvement in Selene's death, her silence regarding sensitive details only fueled more doubt. Was she simply a lover caught in a complex murder case? Or did she play a more crucial role in the entire scheme? Nolan and Lenore continued to investigate Jennifer's phone and email records. They uncovered numerous messages between her and Russell, not just about their romantic relationship, but also discussing work, suggesting they were planning a future together. This discovery made the case even more complex. Jennifer's friends and colleagues were shocked by the relationship. They described her as ambitious and career-focused, and no one had expected her to be involved in such a dangerous affair. Some even noticed that Jennifer had recently become more tense and secretive, slowly bringing the truth to light. While the affair between Jennifer and Russell was a significant factor, the detectives still hadn't found direct evidence linking her to Selene's death. They continued gathering evidence, hoping to find clearer clues about Jennifer's role in the dark chain of events leading to the tragedy. Jennifer wasn't the prime suspect, but the case had taken a new turn. At around 3 p.m. on September 21, 2016, Nolan was working at the police station when he received an urgent call from Lisa Kiang. The forensic analyst, Lisa's hurried voice, informed him that she had found a piece of evidence that could change the course of the case. Through the forensic analysis of Russell Turner's phone, experts managed to recover a series of deleted messages. These messages not only revealed Russell's involvement in a large financial fraud scheme, but also exposed that he was running an international human trafficking ring. Russell's boat repair shop was merely a front for the trafficking operation, where victims from Eastern Europe were deceived with promises of modeling careers in the U.S. They were transported on Russell's boats to places where their futures were stolen. Even more terrifying, Selene had discovered this secret just days before she was murdered. She planned to report it to the police, and this may have been why Russell decided to silence her for good. The recovered messages showed Selene's panic and determination to expose the truth, even though she knew she was facing terrifying danger. Upon receiving the new evidence, Nolan and Lenore immediately called for an emergency meeting. Each message was meticulously reviewed, with the specific dates and times noted. In every line of text, Selene's fear and anxiety were evident. She wasn't just concerned for her own life, but also felt a deep sense of responsibility after uncovering her husband's crimes. The meeting grew tense as the investigation team realized that Selene had discovered Russell's illegal activities just days before she was killed. This created a powerful motive. Russell had to stop her before the truth came out. Every message was undeniable proof that the case was far more complex than initially thought. During further investigation, Nolan and Lenore uncovered a critical detail. Some of Selene's messages mentioned Allegra Hayes. Selene had contacted Allegra, who had recently returned from Europe to confront Russell about the disappearance of her friend, Evelina Markov. Like many other victims, Evelina had been lured to the U.S. with promises of a modeling career, but ended up trapped in the human trafficking ring Russell was running. This discovery painted a complex and dangerous picture. The investigation team now had to reassess every detail related to Russell and those connected to him. The true role of Allegra Hayes remained a significant question. Was she just a victim swept into Russell's web of greed, or did she play a crucial part in his dark scheme? The investigation not only raised new doubts, but also pushed the detectives into a race against time to uncover the truth. As the investigation expanded, police increased their surveillance of Russell's financial records and communications, hoping to find more evidence linking him to human trafficking and Selene's death. The team realized that this case had far surpassed a typical family murder and reached out to federal agencies for support, as the scale of the international trafficking ring was much larger than anticipated. The new evidence slowly revealed the real motive behind Selene's death. Russell's secret life and illegal activities had become the focal point of the case. Nolan and Lenore understood that to bring justice for Selene, they would have to expose the full scope of Russell's operations and the people behind him. During the interrogation, Allegra remained calm. She shared that she had met with Selene Foster just a few days before Selene's murder. Selene had promised to help Allegra expose Russell's dark activities, and their meeting had taken place only 2 days before Selene's death, making Allegra a key witness in the case. While Allegra was a crucial witness, the investigation team found no direct evidence linking her to Selene's death. Her story painted the picture of a desperate friend seeking justice, not a suspect involved in the crime. However, the investigators knew they needed more concrete evidence to charge Russell and fully uncover the truth behind the case. Continuing their investigation, the detectives asked Allegra for more information about Russell's operations. Allegra revealed that she had gathered several documents related to his illegal dealings. Thanks to Allegra's testimony and the documents she provided, detectives Nolan Brooks and Lenore Mitchell now had strong evidence linking Russell Turner not only to Selene's death, but also to the international human trafficking ring. Allegra had become a vital part of the investigation, and her determination helped push the detectives closer to exposing all of Russell's crimes. On September 24, 2016, the Willow Creek Police Department confirmed that Russell Turner was responsible for Selene's murder. On the surface, he appeared to be the owner of a boat repair shop, but in reality, he was behind a network of human trafficking and financial fraud. Selene had uncovered her husband's double life and planned to report him, prompting Russell to silence her forever. The police had gathered enough evidence, including phone records, financial documents, and deleted messages between Russell and Selene. At 10 a.m., Nolan and Lenore entered Russell's office to execute the arrest warrant. Tension filled the air as they stepped inside. Russell was in the middle of a business meeting, and when the detectives announced his arrest, the room froze. Russell stood up, his cold eyes filled with defiance. A faint, twisted smile spread across his face. "You think arresting me is the end?" he said in a chilling tone. "There's still someone else. Someone you don't know about. The one really pulling the strings." Nolan paused, his brows furrowing in thought. Russell's words struck him like a dagger. "Someone else?" Could there be a mastermind lurking in the shadows? Someone they hadn't uncovered. Nolan began to realize that this case was far more complex than they had imagined. The police continued their investigation to ensure they had enough evidence for the case against Russell. They uncovered more details about his illegal activities, from human trafficking to financial fraud. The image of a desperate man willing to do anything to keep his dark secrets hidden became clearer with each discovery. Russell Turner wasn't just a man who had betrayed his family. He was a cold-blooded criminal who would eliminate anyone who stood in his way. Russell's arrest was a major breakthrough in the search for justice for Selene and offered new hope for Allegra Hayes. However, Russell's ominous words continued to haunt Nolan. "You think arresting me is the end?" The unsettling feeling lingered as Nolan realized that the truth had not yet been fully revealed. Who is she? Nolan wondered. Could there be someone else behind Russell, controlling everything from the shadows? The sense of a larger conspiracy began to form in Nolan's mind, making him realize that this investigation had only scratched the surface of a far more intricate and dangerous game. On August 1st, 2017, the trial of Russell Turner officially began in Willow Creek. Karen Whitfield, a well-known and fierce prosecutor, led the charge for the prosecution, presenting all the evidence that held Russell accountable for the murder of Selene and his other illegal activities. Karen laid it all out: the deleted messages between Selene and Russell, financial records proving his debts, and testimonies from Selene's family and friends. The jury listened attentively as Karen painted a picture of Russell's double life, emphasizing that he killed his wife to prevent her from exposing his crimes. Russell's attorney, Richard Palmer, tried to turn the case around, arguing that Russell had been framed and casting doubt on the authenticity of the messages. Palmer claimed there was someone else with a clearer motive to kill Selene. Selene's family sat in the courtroom, the pain evident on their faces as they relived the horrific details of her final moments. Michelle, Selene's sister, wiped away tears several times as the events of Selene's last day were recounted. The trial stretched over 3 weeks, with many arguments presented, but the prosecution's evidence was too overwhelming to dismiss. On August 24th, 2017, the jury unanimously found Russell Turner guilty of first-degree murder, financial fraud, and human trafficking. The verdict brought immense relief to Selene's family and the Willow Creek community, finally shedding light on Russell's hidden crimes. The judge delivered a harsh sentence, condemning Russell to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The courtroom was filled with mixed emotions: relief, sorrow, and grief that could never be fully healed. Though Selene's family found some solace in knowing Russell would spend the rest of his life behind bars, the void left by her loss remained. The verdict sent shockwaves through the Willow Creek community, revealing the dark underbelly of what was once thought to be a peaceful town. It served as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and mutual support within the community. For Selene's family and friends, the verdict marked the end of a painful chapter. They found comfort in knowing that Selene had bravely fought for the truth and that her sacrifice had not been in vain. The Willow Creek community held several memorials and fundraising events to honor Selene, a devoted mother, loving wife, and courageous friend. Although Russell Turner had been sentenced to life in prison, the shadows he cast over Willow Creek lingered. Unanswered questions still hung in the air, preventing the town from fully finding peace. Russell Turner had been convicted, but his secrets were far from over. Just when everyone thought the case was closed, Nolan Brooks received an anonymous package containing chilling documents. The documents revealed that Russell was merely a pawn in a much larger conspiracy. "This game is far from over," Nolan muttered, realizing that the case had only just begun. The lives of those involved in the case began to shift. Selene's family received support from counseling services to help them cope with their grief. Her 2 children were cared for by relatives, though the loss of their mother remained an unhealed wound. The Willow Creek community continued to hold memorial events for Selene, ensuring that her memory would live on in everyone's hearts. Lenore's colleagues and friends tried to help her through the crisis, but the fallout from her relationship with Russell left deep scars. The trial of Russell not only shocked Willow Creek, but also exposed the hidden dangers lurking beneath the town's peaceful exterior. Selene's brave actions had led to Russell's arrest and conviction, bringing justice to her family and the community. Just when it seemed that the past had been put to rest, something unexpected happened in the courtroom. The large doors suddenly swung open, and a mysterious woman walked in. Her long black hair covered half her face, but her sharp gaze remained locked on Russell. The atmosphere in the room felt as though it had been drained, cold and tense to the point of suffocation. The spectators held their breath, some whispering while others stared in awe at the haunting presence of this woman. Selene Foster's life was not just a tragedy, but also a warning of the lurking dangers and the harsh reality of truths that are buried for too long. With the appearance of the mysterious woman, a new storm was brewing. A game far greater than anyone had realized was about to unfold. And so, we conclude our story for today. What do you think of this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, give us a like and share the video so we can continue bringing you more. Thanks for watching, goodbye, and see you in the next video.